Welcome, Pushpa. Thank you so much for joining me on the Action with podcast.
Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you.
we're
Yes.
speaking like this for the first time, and I've known you for a while. Um, but if you have to introduce yourself, or when you introduce yourself, how do you kind of lead that conversation with people?
Uh, well, I thought you were doing that.
Well, okay, like
uh,
okay, मैले अब छोटकरीमा भन्नुपर्दाखेरि त अब आई थिङ्क हामी फर्स्ट टाइम चाहिँ 2011मा चाहिँ एकअर्कालाई चिन्यौँ अनि
yes,
त्यति बेला
yes.
चाहिँ no, I don't want to say किनभने त्यहाँ चाहिँ I want to get to
Yeah,
2011मा how we
yeah.
met पछि
Okay,
तर if you could
okay.
start from like who you are, what you do now, that would be great.
Okay. So in terms of work, I work with the police. I'm with Hampshire Police, and I'm a police constable at the moment. And other than that, I'm just doing my hiking, trekking, mountaineering, that side of the things. So if that sums up my quick intro.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great intro. And when I first met you, you weren't in the police. You hadn't
No.
joined yet. But I think this was around 2013 ko for 2013-14 period ma hola ki.
Yes,
I
yeah.
remember this conversation that I had. You called me. I was in Wimbledon, Wimbledon train station ma. त्यति बेला चाहिँ I think you had shown interest ट्रेसिङ
Tracing
नेपालमा
Nepal.
आउँछु भन्ने खालको
Yes.
कुरा थियो बट के भनेको थियो नि मैले पुलिसमा पनि भर्खर
Mm-hmm.
साइन अप गरेको छु सो ट्रेनिङ इत्यादि हुनसक्छ होला
Yes,
भनेको थियो
yes.
अनि
Mm-hmm.
आई वाज लाइक ओ माई गड लाइक मैले सोचेकै थिइनँ होइन
Mm-hmm.
किनभने त्योभन्दा अगाडि अब युआर डुइङ अदर थिङ्स एन्ड हाउ वी
Yes,
मेट
yeah.
वाज डिफरेन्ट एज वेल
Exactly, yeah,
सो
yeah.
त्यो समयमा 2000 आई गेस 14को समयमा
Mm-hmm.
how 2013-14 ko samay ma like kaaबाट चाहिँ like what made you join
The police.
and yeah the police force.
As you said, even I hadn't thought about it as well. To be honest with you, I was always looking for something that I really enjoyed doing, or that kind of say resonates with my I don't know, my passion, my work ethics and personality, I guess. So in between, when I met you previously several times on events and various say socials, I had been working with in food business retail, or, I don't know, care home, teaching assistant, all sorts. But I never felt this is it, kalke, feeling. So I was always looking for something that I didn't know what job or what career, but I knew what I was looking for. My first job was in a pizza place. So I never obviously wanted to be a pizza girl for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
So I
was
was
that
constantly
like
looking, and
first job went from the point you came to the UK?
yes, yeah. So that was my very first job. And after that, in the process of looking out for jobs, or say a stable job, I guess, I saw this ad about the police, and just before I joined, I was working for a local council as a they used to call a community support officer, which is basically dealing with low level crimes, antisocial behaviors. So that led me to say interact or liaise with local police officers. And unbeknown to me, that job I was made redundant as well. So there was another, again, looking for job. So this vacancy came up, and I thought, you know what, let's give it a try. And that's how it started. But I think, yeah, I don't regret it. I think it's the best decision. I just enjoy my role, job, and I guess I'm happy with this job at the moment.
So how many years has it been now?
Coming up to 8 years.
8 years.
Yes,
Wow, eh?
yeah. So
Time flies.
2014.
Yeah.
That's when when I had to cancel your offer.
Otherwise, Pushpa would have been one of the first team leaders for Tracing Nepal.
Tracing Nepal. I was really, that project was really interesting as well. I really wanted to get involved, but hey.
I mean, even better. Now we'll have somebody who's, a working cop back in the UK, being a team leader one day, when we fix the time.
Yes,
and,
definitely.
you have so much more to share. You already had a lot to share. र सिकाउन र बुझाउनमा तर अहिले त झन् धेरै त्यही भएर पनि you're here. र एउटा कुरा चाहिँ सोध्नु मन थियो लाइक पुलिसमा जोइन गर्नको लागि चाहिँ प्रोसेस चाहिँ के छ? Is it a simple case of just applying, or but then you're joining an institution which is so big, right? So how long does that take?
So the joining process is it depends on the force, as in, for example, in Hampshire, it's Hampshire Constabulary. I'm sure Kent would be Kent Police. The London would be Metropolitan. So there's slight difference as to the time scale or the process, but the process is same. But what I mean is the time scale might be slightly different. So when I joined, you had the application process. So the application process in itself was 10, 14 pages long. So you already had to explain why you want to join, who you are, what do you bring, all kinds of, the application process itself was quite off-putting, honestly speaking.
So lots of like detailing.
Very.
कुन समयमा कहाँ थियो कुन ठाउँमा बस्यो
Oh yes,
त्यो
yeah.
नेपालको त भन्नु त कति गाह्रो भयो
Exactly.
एड्रेसहरु दिँदा हैन.
Oh, so that the background checks came later. So application process, and if you got selected, then there is sort of an assessment process, the practical assessment, and then after written test, maths, English, report writing, all those kind of tests. And after there's a board panel interview with big bosses or senior supervisors, and fitness test, medical, and then there's another final sort of one-to-one interview just to make sure that this is. So there's certain stages, and the vetting. Last 10 years, where have you been? The countries you've been to. Nepal was quite difficult because it's you don't have street names or anything, and it just and also being in the the Gurkha children, you kind of traveling around and you can't put all those countries, and it's so difficult. So that was when I joined, and that process was about 5 to 6 months. So once you got selected, then the training starts. Training was about 12-15 weeks, and you have to pass that training as well. And once you pass, then you're posted to an area.
Training based to 12 to 15 weeks good training, Martin. Is it more like learning via presentations and different people come and deliver different things, or is there a hands-on element?
It's both. So you are learning or studying about the law, and it's tutor-based, a teacher or somebody running the session or class. And in between, obviously, it's incorporated with the practical, because arresting person is something you can't do PowerPoint presentation. You have to show how you do it. So, and having passed, so after you pass the training, then you are sent to a posting, and you are placed for 2 years probation. So, which is that you're not independent as such. So you are monitored for 2 years. So that's the time to kind of, again, build yourself, learn more practical, hands-on, dealing with public. And once you are, say, not authorized, but then competent enough, then you are independent. Then only after 2 years you're independent, and they can not sack you.
Okay. So you kind of like
permanent.
Yeah, you've kind of got yourself in a place where you're like, I've gone through all that journey.
Exactly, yes. So it sounds a long process, but it just flies by so quickly.
I can imagine. धेरै कुरा सिक्नु पर्ने हुन्छ नि त,
Oh my
हैन?
God. And it's just, I don't know if we are going to come to that, but then I had my own kind of personal challenge, joining the police or during that process, because I wasn't brought up in this country. So for me, having to learn the social aspects of the thing, that the British society, the dynamics of how, the society, because I was brought up in Nepal, I was 17 when I came over, so which meant that I was very much embedded or brought up in this Nepalese kind of culture environment. So that was another thing for me to learn, because it was, when I went to people's houses to deal with people, it just was very insightful and eye-opening. I was so naive that, oh my God, यस्तो पनि हुँदो रहेछ British society, the poverty, the socio-economic, the issues. Obviously, I'm not trying to paint, doom and gloom picture of British society. That you know what I mean? It was just something that you see that as a normal members of public that you don't get to see. So those were the things that were very much I had to quickly learn and adapt to. Dealing with different people in their different style, or basically just learning again, the new apart from obviously the law and that side of the thing. So it was challenging, that it was very eye-opening, and yeah, so much learning, still learning to this date.
Yeah. So I guess like because कानुन भनेको law भनेको it's constantly changing, it's constantly updating, and a lot of the कुरा त त्यो incident हुन्छ या एउटा केस आउँछ अनि त्यस पछाडि you know हामी we go back and think okay कानुनमा चाहिँ के लेखेको
के
छ
लेखेको
भनेर.
छ.
So in that respect for you अहिले पनि your learning process त is it like pretty much continuous?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, as you very much pointed out, it's every time updated, new policies, new guidelines. So law is there, but then at the same time there are institutional sort of policies, guidelines, or change bako bako, and so you have to keep yourself up to date. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
are doing things illegally.
या अनि अब यो फोर्सेस जोइन गर्नुको बारेमा चाहिँ एउटा के पनि सोध्न चाहन्छु भने एज अ अब हामी नेपालीहरू यहाँ अब छोटो समयमा स्पेसली 2006देखि चाहिँ अब धेरै मान्छेहरू यहाँ आयो युकेमा र अहिले चाहिँ अहिलेको समयमा चाहिँ 2022मा हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ डिफ्रेन्ट मान्छेहरू डिफ्रेन्ट सेक्टर्समा छन्. कुनै अब अकाउन्टिङ फाइनेन्स इत्यादिमा अलिकति धेरै छन् होला, तर कति सेक्टर्समा अलिक थोरै छ बट पुग्नु त पुगेको छन् है. यो अब पुलिसको बारेमा सोच्दाखेरि मलाई याद छ पहिलादेखि नै अब कोही मामाहरू होइन, some of the early ones they're very well known because they've been there for अलिकति longer period. तर when it comes to अब नेपाली women त्यति धेरै एक्जाम्पल अथवा सोचिँदैन, नाम आउँदैन होइन. अनि for you was there kind of like तर अरू कसैले पनि होइन, आई हेभन सिन समबडी नेपाली एन्ड आई हेभन नेपाली मात्र नभएर एउटा साउथ एसियन वुमेनहरूमा पनि होइन त्यस्तो एक्जाम्पल्सहरू कहिलेकाहीँ वी ल्याक बिकज वी ओन्ली टेन टु स्टिक टु आवर ओन पट अफ कम्युनिटी है. वी पिजन होल्ड आवर सेल्फ समटाइम्स. सो for you, like, what was that process like? Your soch pani, was that something that was in your mind?
So yes, when I joined, there weren't any Nepalese people in there. Well, maybe there were, but I didn't know about them. So that was also another self-doubt kind of feeling for me, that oh my god, हाम्रो कम्युनिटीबाट त यो सेक्टरमा गएको छैन, maybe this is not for us खालके हुन्छ नि, because we tend to go to tried and tested, already experiment proven job sectorहरूमा. So that definitely I wouldn't say held me back, but that kind of question आएको थियो. But then I thought, no, just let's give it a try. And once त्यो in भइसकेपछि चाहिँ I was still self-doubting myself, किनकि when you see around at the station I was the only Asian person, so let alone Nepali or female. So I had to be really careful. I was mindful that I can't make any mistakes, because people would know, that Asian officer, so they can't miss, but later on I went to various events and conference where I could see other South Asian females in high ranking position, and that really gave me that hope. And kind of oh wow, हाम्रो मान्छे पनि रहेछ, not necessarily Nepali नभए पनि हाम्रो area को अथवा South East Asian community को पनि मान्छे रहेछ भनेर. अनि that definitely having that role model or representation definitely gives you that that hope and kind of inspiration, I think. But now from Nepalese community, we have combining various forces, for example, Metropolitan Kent, Surrey, or Hampshire. We have, I think, about 17, 18 Harima officers.
That's nice.
Including detectives, police constable, and PCSO, when your role non-warranted role. And we have a sort of a group. So I was quite happy and at the same time surprised that, oh my god, there are this many people not Lukiko, but I didn't know about. And we are constantly in communication, and we don't have an official organization or hub as such. That we have this informal group where we are kind of helping or supporting each other, and anybody interested, they can come to us, have a chat, and we can kind of run through what the process is or what to expect, those kind of things. But now, you'd be glad to know there are, I think, 4 or 5 Nepalese females in the police, combining Met Police, Kent, Hampshire.
Oh, that's really nice. That's really lovely to hear as well. And I hope that कसै सुनिराख्नु भएको छ हेरिराख्नु भएको छ and if you're like thinking about this sector
Yeah.
and but you just don't know and you need a sounding board सोध्नु मन छ भने I'm sure Pushpa would be very happy to answer questions
Yeah.
etc as well.
No, definitely, because I think it really helps to if you know what you're putting yourself into, or how to prepare, because as I said, the process in itself can be a bit long and challenging, but at the same time just knowing what the job involves, because when we see on TV and dramas, it's fast car bish bosh bam kind
Yeah.
of, but there's more to it. And also there are various roles. it can be an office role, it can be investigative role, or in the uniform, firearms, traffic. There's so many departments. So if you know what it involves or what departments, then you can actually match to your say personality or your interest.
Yeah.
So yeah, people watching this, they're more than happy to contact me, can sit down over coffee and
Cool.
just go through
That's good. So I can imagine that, depending on which sector or which strand of the forces that you specialize in, कुनै अब धेरै कुराहरू त आफूलाई mentally physically मात्र नभएर mentally पनि very demanding र challenging होला नि त होइन, with its own like emotional questionsहरू, केही
Definitely.
सही हो केही बेठिक हो,
हो.
त्यो मान्छे लाइक त्यो मान्छे चाहिँ कस्तो सिचुएसनमा थियो भन्ने खालको पनि हामीले कति धेरै एनालाइज गर्नुपर्छ, स्पेसली अहिले त्यो सर्टन एलिमेन्ट्समा होइन, अब इन्भेस्टिगेटिभ साइड एट्सेट्रामा. बट देन आई गेस द फिजिकल साइड अफ इट एज वेल, किनभने हामीले कति धेरै पुलिसलाई बाटोमा देखिरहेको हुन्छ अनि यहाँतिर अब विकेन्डहरूमा थिङ्स गेट रियली राउडी इभिनिङ्समा, यहाँको ड्रिङ्किङ कल्चरले गर्दा पनि होला. अनि त्यो गर्दाखेरि we see the police people having such a hard time controlling crowd managementहरूमा है. अनि and they're just having to hold so much back, किनभने when people are intoxicated, they do the worst things or they say the worst things. Ani, was there ever a moment where, especially in the early years of your 2 years, where you felt like you maybe this is not for me, भन्ने त्यस्तो पनि मोमेन्ट्सहरू थियो?
Honestly speaking, never. Kiniki, this was something that the found role of Gibonini. I was looking for that something, and this is so I was already okay. This is it, and I was quite passionate about this as well. And this role is, if I may kind of clarify, this is not just a job that you're looking for that paycheck at the end of the month. This is a lifestyle. This is a career. You can make career out of it. So those two, let's say the initial 2 years or up until now, I've never had that feeling that there were times where, as you said, people were quite horrible to you. And honestly speaking, again, I'm not trying to paint a negative picture. They're being realistic. This was the only job that I felt the racism side of the things, because as you said, when people are drunk and they have mental episode or they're not in their right frame of mind, then they are saying and doing all kinds of things to you, and which they don't mean, you know. And I did experience that side of the people's, that side of the character, the racism and whatnot. But then, to be honest with you, I never took it personally, because you have to assess and analyze the situation and the circumstances that this person doesn't mean. And I've had situations where people had sobered up and next day that, I'm sorry, really sorry, this officer writing to me. And so it's just very those kind of situations. But honestly speaking, I've never felt, maybe this is not for me, or what have I brought myself into. त्यस्तो खालके चाहिँ भएन. तर once you join this job, you need to have the want to be in this job, otherwise you can't keep up, or you can't just carry yourself into putting up with all those unpleasant situations, I guess.
Yeah, and I think त्यो सुन्दाखेरि नै, what I can say about you is, in terms of your character and your personality, you're so, you're very strong, and you keep going, you keep moving forward. And but even before the police, the various things that I've seen you do, and you've always kind of been like held your head high and been like really graceful about it. And I think that just exemplifies, and also maybe the different यो काम गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि, the different things that you've done and participated in, everything is a building block क्या
Definitely,
होइन
definitely.
अनि किनभने सबै कुरामा हामी it's not for us
No.
but it helps us towards the path that we are
Exactly,
in and I
yeah.
think you are on that journey.
Exactly, yeah. As you mentioned, the some of the things that we do when we are young, or we are just exploring, and we're just finding ourselves. And especially my character is something that I say, I want to do everything. I want to
Yeah.
experience everything.
And when I say everything, I feel like people will be like, so let's say Pushpala कसरी चिन्यो खालको भनेर तर I think I'm not too sure which came first. Was it Top Model UK Nepal or Miss UK Nepal? I didn't know whether I went.
So I think that was the Top Model.
Okay.
And then after followed by the
Miss UK
Miss
Nepal,
UK
you know?
Nepal, and that was,
Yeah.
oh my god.
So yeah, Pushpa
ages
was
ago.
in a modeling competition in the UK, and I was I think hosting etc.
Where you were the judge.
Oh, judge! Oh shit! I know that judge.
No, at the initial, the introductory round. I think
Audition
the selective group or selective judge. So we had to come and introduce myself.
So I wasn't cool to judge somebody.
No, but then
That's so funny.
you were someone,
I can't model for shit. But anyways,
Simon Cowell, you can't sing.
Oh shit. Worst. Okay, yeah. I know. Ani Titi Bella, but Titi Bella, I think I didn't really know your background.
No.
But then sometimes it's so easy for people to think, about uta completely entertainment or your modeling pursue गर्नको लागि मात्र आयो होला भन्ने खालको सोच हुन्छ. But then Miss UK Nepalma, I think that's where your personality came out more. And what you stand for. And I think that was very highlighted. And Titi Bella, I really took note. And when you kind of, but then you were quite active as well. You were quite active in the community and various kuraharuma. And I think now, when it's in, it was inevitable that you were going to do something within the community, kind of very integrated.
Yeah, and also I think the point you made was, how we try different things, and sometimes we are just trying to find ourselves. So as you said, those jobs, obviously I don't regret, but then those were the jobs working in the pizza shop or the Shell garage or TK Mags, and those events or pageants. They really, I think, shaped me to be who I am as well, because for instance, the very first job working in the pizza shop, it teaches you a lot. Responsibility, punctuality, being there. You have to be on time, otherwise you're fired,
Of course.
And I used to work on one of the busiest pizza place, Domino's Pizza. And weekends were so busy, working under pressure. That's something I learned from that. So, and also another very important part was my English. When I came over, I was so against low self-esteem, self-doubt, because there's a little bit of background to that, but anyways, and my English wasn't that great, and that was my first job, and my role was taking phone calls and taking orders, and there were so many complaints, and I used to think, oh my god, but that was part-time and I had to do it, and that was something I had to stick to.
Yeah.
But actually, I think it was a blessing in disguise, I guess, because having to speak in English all the time, and also all your colleagues, they're all, these young college students or working seasonal during the uni break. So you are constantly practicing communicating with them, and that really, I think, helped me kind of polish my English as well. And working in other, say, care homes, again, the empathy and that side of the thing, just seeing the different part of this different role as well. So all those jobs and the events and the contest as well, again, that's say public speaking or putting yourself out there. So they all kind of shaped up to kind of helped me I think become the person I am, I guess. So
no, you're so right. I think working in any, like, whether it's fast food or retail, where you're having to serve or talk to a customer directly, I think that's a really important, I feel like everyone should do such jobs at some point in their life, because it makes you realize that dealing with humans is sometimes the most difficult thing,
Yeah.
because you just don't know what sort of energy and emotions you're having to navigate.
Exactly.
तर
Yeah.
त्यस्तै पनि धेरै सिकाउँछ क्या कसरी
No,
चाहिँ
no,
त्यसलाई म्यानेज
definitely.
गर्ने र कसरी आफूलाई म्यानेज
आफूलाई
गर्ने
manage
क्या
गर्ने हो.
because it's more about you than
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
person because there's only so much that you can
That
do.
you can do. Exactly. Yeah. And just adding on to that point, you know, our Nepalese parents or maybe Asian parents in general, they don't want you to work in McDonald's or wherever. You know, राम्रो जागिर खोज त्यस्तो भन्नुहुन्छ नि त.
Yeah.
तर I think they should actually push their kids to go and work temporarily on those kind of sectors or
Oh my God,
jobs,
definitely.
because that will teach them so much, the basic life skills, punctuality भन्ने कुरा, you know.
Yeah.
And it kind of builds up to you know, your skills, building up your skills, it gives that responsibility, the sense of responsibility, the financial, you know, management, that side of the things. And I think our parents, they kind of mollycoddle, say,
Yeah.
wrap you up in this cozy, protected environment, which is
Layer.
good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think without realizing, they become overprotective, and that's enabling them just to, like, okay, simple things like moving out thing. They are so against moving out that I only learned so many things when I moved out, which I wouldn't have. Okay? Whereas Nepalese parents, like, oh, you were in your 30s or wherever, and they're like, oh, gharmai bas, paisa save gar, orko ghar kine, whatever the reasons are.
Yeah.
That they don't realize that they're not actually helping, but they're, I think, enabling, you know, and they're not allowing their adult children to maybe flourish or grow.
Yeah. Make
fully,
their
I
own
think,
mistakes, learn
and
from
make
their
their
own
own
mistakes and become,
decisions.
you know, a person that
Their
become their
individual,
own individuals.
exactly. Yes.
They are.
Yeah. So this is why I think working in those kind of menial, you know,
Yeah.
sanitino job is really important. It kind of, and also it keeps you pushing as well, keep looking for something
Oh,
better.
definitely. Yeah.
You know, because you feel at the end of the day, you can only work in a food shop for so long. So that kind of gives you that motivation as well. Okay, I need to find something better, or maybe this way, or manager level.
Yeah. Some people like progress really well within, like, let's say McDonald's, and they become you know,
area
from
manager
area
or
managers, and
franchise
they
holder
yeah,
as well.
and they own multiple McDonald's, and then they get the company car.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know, there is a route, and I feel like चाहिँ पढेर मात्रै गर्ने भन्ने होइन, त्यो पढेर पनि कोही मान्छे अब म्याकडोनल्डमा काम सुरु गर्ला, त्यहाँबाट पनि there's great success stories.
You can make career out of that as well.
And I mean, talking about McDonald's, like my first job when I was 16, म पनि म्याकडोनल्डमा काम गरे हो होइन, अनि मैले हप्तामा 2 दिन गर्थेँ, Saturday Sundays मात्रै. अनि but honestly I think त्यो कामले मलाई कति धेरै सिकायो क्या, because it's so bad, because this is what I feel क्या, sadly the people who get paid the lowest have to do so much क्या, अनि त्यस्तो काममा normally 16-17 वर्षकोलाई मात्र employ गर्छ, and you're earning such little amount, and त्यो little amount मा they're like 1 minute मा or 45 second मा you have to complete one order or 2 orders exactly, and they're like everything is so timed क्या, and then it's like at the end of the day it's like especially टिलमा काम गर्ने मान्छेहरू आजभोलि त टिल त्यति हुँदैन, त्यति बेला टिलमा काम गर्दाखेरि त it was so much pressure क्या, अनि thankfully my English was good, so म कहिले पनि किचनमा काम गर्नु परेन. But then it felt like I was a machine. I was
machine, like, and you're the one to you know, get all this complaint. You know, somebody mess up in the kitchen. Oh my God. You're the one.
Yeah, and then like obviously people would see me, and because म लन्डनमा बस्दिन थिएँ, म धेरै टाढा बस्थेँ होइन बाहिर, अनि त्यहाँ धेरै अब एसियन मान्छेहरू त्यति देखिँदैन थियो. They look at me and they think obviously like मेरो accent is not going to be there खालको क्या. And I'm just like, dude, like I have better English than you, like what the hell.
Exactly.
अनि त्यहाँदेखि, and I would just blatantly ignore some people. Okay? It's like, yeah, but त्यस्तो ठाउँमा काम चाहिँ like you really realize मान्छेसँग कसरी deal गर्नुपर्ने, because not everyone is nice होइन. Like you said, कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ हामीलाई चाहिँ बाबा मम्मीहरूले हुर्काउँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब यो यस्तो ठाउँमा यस्तो देशमा गयो भने सबै चाहिँ राम्रो हुन्छ खालको, maybe because हामी चाहिँ सानैदेखि एउटा सानो ठाउँबाट आउँछौँ होला होइन, whether it's हाम्रो feelings about ourselves होइन, where we place ourselves in these hierarchies, and we're always made to look up over respect certain people, and then you realize that actually, you know what, it's now we're equal. Now we're equal, and if they want my respect, then they have to give me respect too.
Exactly, and they have to earn it and give it. And also we become the conditioned to, again, my bringing up was the same as well as to ठुलो मान्छेहरूलाई आदर गर्ने, which is fine, I'm not against that, but the point is ठुलो मान्छेले wrong decision गर्यो अथवा wrong कुरा भन्यो भने पनि you have to
चुप लागेर
चुप
बस
लाएर
खालको,
हजुर हजुर
yeah.
भन्नै पर्ने खालको त्यस्तो इन्भाइरोमेन्टमा ग्रो अप हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ you become conditioned to that. अनि that was one of the challenges for me when I joined the police किनकि I was always looking up to say मेरो supervisorsहरू अनि when they made a decision, I thought, okay, supervisor le goreko, मेरो sergeant le, inspector le goreko, so it must be the right decision, so I have to follow. But later on, I realized that it's not just about the rank; it's about your expertise. So, for example, that you can be a police constable, which is A rank, but you can be advisor for senior officers on tactical advisors. So that's something I kind of learned, that actually it's your knowledge, it's your expertise, your skill. It's not about ठुलो मान्छे हो कि elderly मान्छे हो कि अथवा उसको rankly हो कि. And I think in general in the UK, I think
Yeah.
that's something I like about
Yeah.
how you are on your merits, not
Exactly.
because you
Yeah.
are somebody's uncle or high ranking officer or
Yeah, no, definitely. And where you work, Hampshire area ma,
Yes,
Hampshire मा नै अब हाम्रो अलिकति नेपाली कम्युनिटी धेरै भएको ठाउँहरू Aldershot भयो, Farnborough भयो हैन. I think Basingstoke पनि Hampshire मै पर्छ.
Yes, yeah,
हजुर,
Basingstoke is
Basingstoke पनि
also.
त्यहाँ पर्छ. So कस्तो खालको in terms of अब नेपाली कम्युनिटी र नेपाली कम्युनिटी सँगको engagement कतिको भएको छ अनि केही बताउन सक्नु मिल्छ त्योहरू confidentially हैन. I don't want to put you in any kind of
yeah. Obviously, we won't be
awkward
talking
spot.
about specific case as such. Though in general, I like working in Hampshire because, as you said, we have a big Nepalese community in Hampshire, and also one of my, as I said, when I was talking about what I was looking for in a job, that passion, helping people. I mean, every job is working with people and helping people anyways, but I meant by something meaningful, deeper meaning or purpose to it, and also making a difference, So this is why I like Hampshire in that sense, because हाम्रो नेपाली community त्यहाँ ठुलो जमात हुनुहुन्छ, and I feel that म मात्र जानेर म मात्र हुन्छ नि ठुलो भएर certain post अथवा job गरेर के मतलब भयो, where if I can't help my community, मैले सिकेको त community लाई पनि help हुनु पर्यो नि, especially Nepali community. Yes, it is growing, तर still सानो नै छ. And as you said earlier on, in certain sectors or certain careers, there aren't that many Nepalese people. So I think when you are that first one or two or those firsts, let's say, I think it's really important that you engage with the community, because they look up to you as well, in the sense that हाम्रो मान्छे पनि छ है, केही help support पाइन्छ कि भन्ने हुन्छ नि. So when you go to a hospital, you see a Nepali doctor, अलिकति अर्कै खालको सास आउँछ नि. Exactly the same as well with our Nepalese communities as well. I've had I take great pride and privilege working in the Nepalese community or Hampshire. But at the same time, I've had kind of mixed feelings as well, that people are a little bit skeptical that Nepali मान्छे नै रहेछ, यसले त फेरि सारा जमातलाई के हुन्छ आफन्तलाई भन्दिला कि भन्ने त्यस्तो पनि के हुन्छ नि. तर there is data protection, confidentiality भन्ने कुरा हुन्छ, which अझै पनि कति बुझ्नु भएको छैन, especially हाम्रो elderly generationहरूले. अनि I have to reassure them that, oh no, don't worry, this is between you and me, अथवा within your job related matter. I don't care whether I know your cousin or whoever. And at the same time, what I found was also that our people from our community, they are very still say awareness अलिकति छैन, किनकि simple things such as घरमा पुलिस आयो भने के डिटेल्सहरू लिने अथवा के गर्ने, किनकि एउटा अथोरिटीको फिगर देखेपछि मान्छेहरू डराएर हुन्छ नि, जे माग्यो सबै दिइहाल्ने त्यस्तोहरू हुन्छ नि त, अब हाउस सर्च गर्नेदेखि लिएर. But as a member of public, you have the right to ask their detail. किन आएको मेरो घरमा, मलाई किन arrest गरेको. You have the right to say, no, I don't want to be searched, or I don't want you to be in my house.
So we can say नो
Yeah, yeah.
उनीहरूले सर्च गर्नु आयो भनेर
आयो भने
एक्कासी
you
एउटा
can.
को मान्छे आयो अरे
आयो, yeah.
आजभोलि त थाहा पनि पाउन गाह्रो छ नि त यो मान्छे सही पुलिस
पुलिस
हो
हो
कि
कि
ओर
होइन।
झुकाउने खालको
Exactly,
होइन
yeah,
बिकज
yeah.
रबरिजहरू पनि धेरै
हो,
भइरहेको छ
हो।
सो उनीहरूलाई प्रमाण माग्नु मिल्छ
Exactly. No, no. You have the right to,
Uh-huh.
and the police officer, they are abide by the law to give their details. For example, if I stopped you, then I need to tell you, mo kun station barako, mero naam ke ho, mero color number or badge number, warrant card number ke ho. Ani main thing is, why am I stopping you? What am I looking for? If I'm looking for, say, there's a report that somebody matching your description stole a big TV,
Yeah.
then I can't be looking into your pockets, you know. So
Yeah.
those kind of things. So you can say, hey, so you said somebody stole a TV. Why are you looking in my pockets, or or strip search?
Yeah.
Just to give you an example, the point is you have the right to say no, I don't want to be searched, or unless you provide these details. And by law, those officers need to provide those details. So there's very exceptional circumstances. मा मात्र कहिले कहिले चाहिँ अब हुन सक्छ, तर you have the right to ask those details, and they need to provide you with that detail. So same with the house search as well. You can't just go into people's house. We have certain powers to enter people's house. So if they say, officer, I don't want you in my house, then you have to leave. Otherwise, you are trespassing, or you are also breaching the law. So those were the things, and you'd like to think that this is most people would know, or in Nepalese community, so some of the basic things are also they are not quite aware of that. And things such as when people get arrested, they have free legal advice. अनि especially हाम्रो Nepalese community बाट चाहिँ उहाँहरूले चाहिँ भन्नुहुन्छ कि नो म सोलिसिटर लिँदिनँ, हुन्छ नि पुलिस र सोलिसिटर मिलेको होला त्यस्तो भन्नुहुन्छ क्या. But that's not the case, किनकि if somebody is arrested, then we have the duty to provide that legal advice, and it's free of cost. अनि उनीहरूले चाहिँ भन्नुहुन्छ कति पैसा तिर्नुपर्छ होला, म हुन्छ नि लिँदिनँ, अथवा कसरी फ्री भयो त्यो पुलिस र सोलिसिटर मिलेको होला, त्यस्तो जायज कुरा पनि हो, किनकि फ्री चिज कसरी, why am I getting a free legal advice, legal aid भन्ने हुन्छ नि त. So those kind of things, whereas in comparison to people from other community, they would have known कि I'm entitled to free legal advice when I'm in custody.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a very mixed and interesting working with Nepalese people, or people from our community. But I whenever I get a chance, I'm always there to even help my colleagues if there are any Nepalese say cases, not directly involved as such, but just for kind of a guidance, and they come to me as well. I've got a Nepali case, how should I approach, or why are they not engaging, or why is this male of this house answering for this female, whereas she's the victim type go. So it's really interesting. Yeah.
Ani, like in terms of themes or categories, are you able to share Nepali समाजमा चाहिँ कस्तो खालको कुराले चाहिँ पुलिसको सपोर्ट मागिरहेको हुन्छ या पुलिसको I guess वरिपरि चाहिँ उहाँहरू आउनु परिरहेको हुन्छ भनेर?
It's really again mixed as well. We've had Nepalese people in all kinds of mixed offenses. So there's not particular one यसमा चाहिँ राइफ एकदमै ज्यादा छ भन्ने छैन. It's really mixed really. And also I didn't get to deal with all the Nepalese cases, so it's difficult for me to kind of say yes, this is a higher category where we see more Nepalese people reporting than the other. And also I think in Nepalese community is underreporting. So we see that peaceful community, there cases or China, that actually there's so much happening. It's just that they don't report. Kiniki, it just again lack of awareness as to कसरी report गर्ने, अथवा report गरेपछि पनि ला मैले के भन्ने, अथवा there are so many other things that they feel it's better not to report than to just stay put. I'll just cope with it खालके त्यस्तो. किनकि our communities, in a way, nice that we live in this small supported community, but at the same time it can be a bit of a, I think,
it holds
hurdle as well, that they don't want other family members or extended family to know about it.
Exactly.
And that's why they feel that, you know what, I'll just save the hassle of all those, everyone knowing about why I called the police. So just
कति कुरा चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ still त्यो पुलिसलाई किन इन्भल्भ गर्ने समाजलाई
Yeah,
इन्भल्भ
yeah.
गरौँ एन्ड देन हाम्रो
Exactly,
समाजको एउटा
yeah.
ठुलो लिडर अथवा एउटाको चेयरपर्सन हुन्छ अनि उनीहरू आएर फ्यामिलीलाई भिजिट गर्छ
Visit गर्ने
अथवा केही केस भयो भने अब फ्यामिलीकै केसमा मात्र सधैँ यस्तो हुँदैन तर अब आई डोन्ट नो लाइक बिजनेस वाइजमा नै केही
business-wise.
भयो भने
Yes,
होइन
yeah.
त्यस्तोहरू हामीले त्यो देखिरहेको हुन्छ एन्ड देन यु जस्ट थिङ्क पुलिसलाई किन नबोला होला खालको होइन
Exactly,
और
yes, yeah.
अलिकति एक्सटर्नल सपोर्टलाई किन सिक गरेको होला भन्ने पनि
Exactly,
हुन्छ
yeah. And apart from, because over here there are so many help and support, okay? So you don't necessarily have to go through police as well. You can just directly self-refer to, say, talking therapies or emotional
हजुर
support or just anything domestic violence. You can go to independent domestic violence support group. You don't have to go to the police.
या
So I think not knowing that those help and support is available as well, and maybe for some people maybe available छ भन्ने थाहा हुँदा हुँदा पनि the route to access it हुन्छ नि,
हजुर
the language barrier maybe, and it might be they might not most of those help and support they can be on a voluntary base, so which means that they can't afford to have an interpreter,
या
so which means it's sad that because of those kind of logistic side of the thing, our people are deprived or kind of deprived from those kind of services. भनौँ न.
सो एकजना
just-
मान्छे एकजना
yeah.
नेपाली नेपाली मान्छे यहाँ युकेमा अब लेट्स से ह्याम्पसयरमा उहाँ एउटा केही कामको लागि अरेस्ट हुनुभयो अरे होइन अनि त्यस पछाडि चाहिँ उहाँको अब भाषामा अङ्ग्रेजीमा उहाँले राम्रोसित बोल्न सक्नु हुँदैन र कन्फिडेन्स छैन भने चाहिँ त्यो मान्छेले चाहिँ क्यान दे रिफ्युज टु स्पिक अन्टिल an interpreter is assigned to their case?
Yes, yeah. And also, not just they can refuse. We can't just interview. Kiniki, there's no means of communication at all. Then what's the point of interviewing this person?
Correct,
so,
correct.
Because over here, यहाँ चाहिँ कस्तो छ भने, the policing is by consent. Again, I don't have experience in Nepal police, so I can't speak. But when I was growing up, it was हुन्छ नि अलिकति forceful नै हुन्थ्यो नि त, अलिकति झ्यापझुप पक्रेर लाने पिट्ने केही एक्सप्लेन पनि नगर्ने त्यस्तो हुन्थ्यो नि त. So over here it's by consent. Even if you're a bad person, even if there's an allegation against you, we still treat you with respect, with dignity. You have your rights as well. So in that case, when you're arrested, you have language issues or you need an appropriate adult because of your age or mental health side of the things or learning needs or whatever that is. Our job is to make sure that those things are met first, because that's your obviously basic needs or basic right. So we can't just question you without having those things in place. So that's against the law as well. And same as the legal aid as well. We can't question you without a solicitor or legal advisor. If you wish to have one, we have to phone barai huncha ki मान्छे नै ल्याएर हुन्छ कि it's our job to do that. त्यो चाहिँ within the law नै छ क्या. Otherwise you can make a complaint saying, oh, they questioned me without my appropriate adult or without my mental health assessment or without a solicitor. So those are your rights as well. So it's really good to know. And sometimes people get arrested. All the people who get arrested doesn't mean they are a bad person or they have done it. It's sometimes most of the time it just allegations on the police station and then we investigate, make those inquiries, and then disprove whether you've done it or not. So
I think like your police ko बारेमा कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब these are things that it's so good to know होइन what you're sharing to me होइन मैले पनि कति धेरै नयाँ कुरा सिकिरहेको छु क्या नत्र भए त त्यो डरले नै I think के भनिन्छ होला होइन and you're not thinking clearly and these are great things to know but not something that you want to experience. Do you get what I mean? Like like 999 ambulance call गर्नु पनि क्या you hope आफूले गर्नु नपरोस् भनेर होइन especially like if somebody is unconscious and not breathing etc. But then त्यो call गर्नु नै कस्तो ठुलो स्टेप पनि हो नि त हैन and I almost feel like there should be a crash course क्या 999 कल गर्दाखेरि के अप्सन आउँछ इत्यादि भनेर
के basic questions
exactly and what are the त्यो primary र secondary response भयो or like where you are address हरू हैन त्यो landmark हरू भन्ने खालको तर कति कुरा त अब I guess practice गरेर पनि हामीलाई थाहा
Hammer-
हुँदैन होला or त्यो दिनमा आउँदैन होला है
No, exactly. Yeah, those are the things that you can never be prepared or practice for. Okay?
Yeah.
For example, for me as well, when I'm off duty, when I'm driving, if there's a police car behind me, even now I'm like, oh my God, I've been there. It's so stupid, but
It happens to you as well.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And those things such as when you said, you can't prepare for everything.
Yeah.
We do these courses when first aid or got into fitness को बेलामा चाहिँ defense त्यो tacticsहरू सिकिन्छ. But then when the situation comes, I'm not sure you're doing okay, right hand up, this, down, जसरी arrest गर्न handcuff लगाउन सजिलो हुन्छ त्यसरी नै गरिन्छ नि त. So it's those kind of things, calling 999 or helping someone, it's something you just follow your instinct and just do whatever you can or it's best at the time.
Yeah. So in terms of अब यो कामको बारेमा कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हैन अब handcuffको बारेमा भनिहाल्यो. So I'm sure people would be like, I wonder if she's put somebody in a handcuff as well, हैन, or been in these kind of situations. Have you?
Yes, yeah. So obviously my role is the first 2 years and several years I was in uniform, as in, the police you see out and about on the street, going to people's house.
Yeah.
So that was my role, which is called frontline policing.
Wow. Oh my
so
God.
People call 101 or 999. You go to people's house or pubs or whatever, nighttime economy. That's one of my least favorite. Dealing with drunk people, I'm not. So yes, so I had to. That's say bread and butter, I guess, of the arresting people and those kind of things. But now I'm in a different role, so I don't have to wear. I'm not in uniform. I'm still a police officer, but
so we should be more worried because you could be working right now. I'm gonna make sure that there's not a handcuff.
Exactly. There's a recording underneath. So yeah, my current role, I don't have to wear uniform, but I'm still, if need be, going say to execute a warrant or house search, this as a kit or loan person. That I see as my role, I don't have to wear uniform.
I see. So in your current role where you don't have to wear a uniform, what do you do?
So
short line ma bhanne milcha
so I am in a specialist role now, which is just dealing and investigating with these just sexual offenses and rape cases. So which means it makes sense not to be in uniform because you are obviously, uniform is a barrier already, whether be it a victim of rape, sexual assault, it's anything, you go to someone's house in this uniform just to do some inquiries. Oh my God, it's a big barrier, somebody in black uniform or blue, depending on the forces. So for that reason, we don't have uniform. So we are in plain clothes, say, a business attire. So that's my current role at the moment, which is, again, I'm really enjoying this role. And
कति भयो यो current role मा चाहिँ?
Current role,
involved by
4 years now.
4 years.
Yes, yeah.
And is this something that you want to kind of continue progressing in within this role, or is there like an opportunity, or how often are there opportunities to kind of think like, actually now I want to move either back into the frontline kind of element of it, or more, I don't know, the more crime, murder scene khalko things.
This is something that I want to continue, but we have tenure as well, so which means that you can only be in a specialist role for a certain period of time. Because of, earlier you mentioned about how mentally, psychologically it can be impactful as well, so for the well-being side of the thing, so being in, imagine listening to people's account of sexual assault or rape day in, day out, because it can take a toll on you as well. So I think that's for that reason, if you're in specialist roles, say child abuse or rape or major crime like murders and things like that, they tend to have 5 years tenure. So next year I need to start thinking about what next, or what I'll be doing, kind of.
Cool.
But at the moment, whilst I'm still in this role, I'm really enjoying it, and also talking about this Nepalese community earlier on, I do sessions, for example, drop-in sessions where people can come in and talk about, or for guidance only, so they don't have to disclose their name, they don't have to discuss about the suspect or the exact offence itself.
You drop-in sessions in Gown. Sorry, please continue.
So that drop-in session is they can either, I think I used to rephrase, not drop-in session, but they can contact me, phone, email, or they can come to Basingstoke or Aldershot Police Station and ask for me, and I can arrange time to meet up with them, and they don't have to even meet me again. They can be over the phone, and they don't have to disclose the name or nothing. It just basically for guidance and information, because not many people want to report every crimes, or especially if a victim of rape, then they don't want to dive into it just yet. They want to know what happens, how long is the investigation, what does it involve, those kind of things. So that's for that reason I'm really enjoying that role. So I'm doing my day job there, but at the same time on the side,
the Nepali community outreach is continued.
Outreach
and I
work
think
is
you also
going.
have an Instagram handle. Would you like to share?
Yes, thank you. It was actually my personal account, but I've now changed for that very reason, so that people have more options to reach out. So my Instagram page is called ASKP_UK_Kanun, spelled all in English, and I do through the BFBS Gurkha Radio as well, and purely so that I can reach out to more people. And if not many people have Instagram, especially our Boju Bajiku group, because it applies to them as well. Not necessarily as a victim or suspect, but they might know somebody in their family member, or they might see some signs of abuse, let's say, so they can kind of alert the police. But all I would say, just ask. Honestly, the policing is by consent in this country, so there's no need to be afraid. You'll be treated with, as I said, with respect. Be it a victim or as a suspect.
No, that's it's really good how you've got your job, but you're finding different ways to kind of reach out to the Nepali community in the language, in mediums that suits our community, because we have such a diverse community within the Nepali community. We have generations. Some घरहरुमा हाम्रो बाजे बोजू बाबा मम्मी and भाइ बहिनीहरु एउटै घरमा हुनुहुन्छ, and उहाँहरुको लागि we need to reach via like at least 4 different channels. अनि BFBS गोर्खा रेडियोमा पनि हामीले सुनिरहेको हुन्छौं your segmentsहरु, and you're doing that via Instagram as well. You also were quite active, and I think you will continue to be active on Facebook ma पनि. So it's a lot of work, but that's really admirable as well, and I'll make sure that we'll put all the links down below as well.
Thank you.
Going back to, I think that kind of having a break and that well-being and mental health aspect of it, like having a positive mental health because we all have mental health, that is so important. So what are some of the things that you do outside of work that kind of, where you can switch off and it kind of gives you, this is it, Pushpa, I'm in the zone.
So that would be, as I mentioned earlier on about my the hiking and that side of things. Because during the COVID time, obviously I had to be specific about what I do. So a lot of walking. I used to be more kind of a trail running side of the things, but now I've discovered the walking, and where I live is quite, it's got green space and quite nice parks as well. So
oh my god, we also ran 10K together, didn't we?
Richmond Park, yes.
No, it's not. No, I know. Victoria Park ma ho.
But
It's a Victoria Park ma थियो. त्यो Pride Run क्या?
Yes.
we did that with
well.
Jinita,
Exactly, yes.
पहिला नै पनि I think maybe we did a walkathon or something, like the Nepali wala type
of so many numerous occasions and socials or events or runs. We met so many times, but this is the first time kind of sitting down and but that and indoors climbing, bouldering. That's full body exercise. Oh my god. Because I'm not a very gym kind of person. I'd rather go out for a walk or maybe bouldering. And just sometimes I just need to, I don't know, maybe age as well, but sometimes I just like doing nothing, just staying indoors or going to a local cafe with a book or something, and whole day I'd be there. And sometimes previously, a few years ago, I used to find, oh my God, I wasted my time. I haven't done this one. I had to be there. I had to see this person. Now I just feel I'd rather be indoors or spend time on my own. Kind of that kind of revitalize or kind of charges my battery, I guess.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think because the pressures of modern day life, you know, it's so much,
Exactly,
and there's
yeah.
just like the constant need to kind of go.
Oh.
And sometimes I feel like हाम्रो social media ma or even हाम्रो phone ko notification पनि it should be like out of office खालको टाइपको क्या,
Oh,
because there's
yes,
that
yeah, I
constant
wish that.
pressure to feel like okay त्यो WhatsApp reply गर्नुपर्छ, Viber,
Exactly,
emo,
yeah.
you know,
Exactly,
Messenger,
yeah,
and
IG
के
message.
हुन्छ
Oh my
नि
God,
त. And
everything, yeah.
you at least त्यो Monday to Friday काममा त you can have an out of office reply, but I
Exactly,
feel like
yes,
त्यो
yeah.
Viberहरूमा फेरि को मान्छेहरू साथीहरूले भन्छ नि के हो बिजी हो reply गरेन, and I'm just like
Exactly, yeah,
let me
yeah.
be खालको त्यो
Oh,
कारणले.
exactly. And also, I think that's again, it goes back to discipline as well.
Yeah.
You can really, and I tried being, every now and then I go off social media, say for a month or two. And yes, first couple of days feels, oh my God, I'm missing something. It's the itchy. You want to log in. But then after that, you pass that 2-3 days, you're fine. You just don't care about who's eating what or who went where, you know, you don't care about people's dinner or holidays, you know.
Exactly.
But again, once you sign in back and then you realize actually you haven't missed anything, it's the same people doing same thing. So, and now that I've made a point to every now and then for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, totally off social media, and it just feels so much better, and you feel that, oh my God, all this time I was wasting on Instagram and that was also one of the reasons why I changed my personal account to the well, not work related, but purely for the awareness, spreading awareness. I felt, you know, I just got bored and the same story, and I think my circle, my friend circle, because of I think my age or whatever, everyone's either expecting or just had a baby, and every weekend there's baby shower or or kulai or kiki and you feel bad not going, but at the same time I really need this weekend to myself.
No, we have to be more wise with how we spend our times, and sometimes हामीले के हुन्छ नि अरूहरूको लागि कति समय दिन्छौँ that we forget to prioritize ourselves, you know, अनि त्यही भएर पनि I think it's a sometimes saying no is difficult, but then we have to get there. Otherwise, we're not giving our time, you know, what we need.
Exactly, yes,
So, yeah, but no, that's been really good. It's been a really good conversation, and it's been a really good chat. And
definitely, yes,
I'm sure like we could continue forever, but we'll just probably leave it here.
That's
right. And yeah, I just want to say like keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And it's really good to see your journey as well, because you know, from the early days of you know, Top Model UK Nepal, Miss UK Nepal, I know, going on these kind of different runs together, to now you being in the forces and the different things that you've shared and how you continue to reach out to the community. And it is so important, किनभने हामीलाई कति धेरै चीज थाहा छैन, कति धेरै चीज हामीले भोगेको छ होला or सहिरहेको छ हैन, and हामीलाई थाहा छैन त्यो चाहिँ खास गरी नहुनु पर्ने चीजहरु हो भनेर, तर through your outreach त्यसले सिकाइरहेको छ, बुझाइरहेको छ, अनि त्यो communication piece is very important. र सबैजनाले जुन you know the work that you're doing गर्दैन, किनभने त्यो Monday to Friday मात्र गरेर पनि ठीक हुन्छ हैन, but you're actually going the extra mile, and I think that's really, really commendable. But yeah, so thank you so much, Pushpa.
No, thank you very much. And as you said, we've met so many times but never had the chance to have a sit down and chat properly, so I really enjoyed as well. And yeah, good luck to you as well. And I remember you had this Ekchin long time ago, but it was more kind of a written and odd interview, so I'm glad that you're back on it as well.
I'm just gonna pick it up. I just want to have a conversation with so many UK Nepalis, because I do know so many interesting people, I personally think, you know, and they interest me, and they make me think, you know, गरिरहेछ त्यो मान्छेले पनि, and त्यही हो, त्यही कारण it's not all the famous people, but you're famous. It's not all the famous.
Okay.
That came across so negative.
No,
but you get what I mean, right?
You
know, it's not everyone who's in you know, movies and music and stuff like that. But I think these are stories, everyday stories that could really impact people as well.
Yeah. Right? But no, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Take care.